All right. Let's get this over with.
Recently, Tyler made a video about why he left 2Wipe, and in that video, he made a lot of false claims about me and manipulated different events and left out a lot of the story. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys a timeline of events so you guys have context of the full story. And then I'm going to react to every point Tyler has made in his video and
you look drunk. I always do.
But before we get into that, I'm not asking you guys to sympathize with me. All I'm asking is that you watch the entire video before you form an opinion on the subject. As a lot of you guys know, me and Tyler have been friends since elementary school, and in high school I started doing...
I don't have my face done. I have my eyebrows done. You know? Hi, Papa! But yeah.
Really good at YouTube, dropped out of school, went to go do it full time. I was super successful with it, and in that time I wanted to bring up my friends, so I taught Tyler how to edit and helped him make videos, and then eventually got him to move into the 2Wipe house at the time. And having Tyler in the house was amazing. We were really good friends, we hung out, I was in his videos, he was in my videos. Then we moved to Calabasas for a new house, still same thing going on. Me and Tyler, we hang out all the time, like you're my friend. I love hanging out with you, we made videos together, just countless videos on your channel, countless videos on my channel. In March, I moved out of the house, and the reason I moved out of the house was because I needed more space. I had one bedroom, but I had multiple employees in person. I'm trying to run different businesses. I needed my own space, and it's always been a dream to purchase my own home, and that is why I moved out. As Tyler stated in his video, he's been going through an addiction. Now, this had been going on for a while, but when I left the house in March, it got worse throughout the year, and I never got to fully understand the full extent of it. Later in the year, we were in negotiations with 100 Thieves to sign with them, and Tyler was on board with this, but it wasn't until like the last minute of negotiations, Tyler actually backed out of the deal and told us he didn't want to be a part of the 100 Thieves deal. Tyler explained to us that he didn't want to be part of the 100 Thieves deal because of the contract and the obligations that came with it, and we said, okay, you can still be part of 2Wipe, you just won't do the 100 Thieves obligations. And that's what we agreed to for some time, but then Tyler expressed to us he didn't want to be part of the group either, and Tyler was going through it mentally at the time, going through addiction, so we talked to him as a group, and we came to the decision that, you know, go to rehab, get your mind right, take time. If you still don't want to be part of the group when you get back, you know, think about it for a while. You don't have to be part of the group, but don't make this life-changing decision until you get your mind right. Tyler went to rehab, and about 20 days later, he came back, and there wasn't much communication when Tyler came back. I texted him a little bit, but I felt like he was avoiding me. For example, he came to the house to drop off something for my roommate, Rick, but didn't come inside to talk to me. James came to his door, knocked on it. You wouldn't even open the door to talk to James after you came back from rehab. Shortly after that, your dad emailed us demanding documents. And to give context on Tyler's dad, Tyler, over the years, you've only said negative things about your dad. I've only had limited experiences with him, but you always expressed to me that your dad was a negative influence. As you can see, this email shows Tyler's...
I feel like that's not very fair, because I feel like everyone vents to their best friends about their parents at some point in time. Like, either way, your parent still loves you at the end of the day and is still going to be super protective over you at the end of the day, so... I don't know. It's kind of unfair.
For these documents. Now, while this was happening, Tyler's dad met with our manager and made physical threats on multiple people in the group. And as you can see, Tyler talks about it in this clip.
The reason that Chris hired
Have you watched Cash video?
Was because my dad. I had a talk with my dad, and I told him everything that has gone on. And my dad sat down with our manager at the time, my ex-manager, and he told him, and he threatened Chris.
Multiple people had to hire security because they did not feel safe. Really. Tyler, you never messaged anyone once apologizing for what your dad did. The only thing you messaged us after that was threatening emails, threatening legal action. We did not give Tyler's dad those documents he requested because he threatened our safety.
Anyone needed an apology.
He has zero right to those documents that he's requesting. Tyler does. Tyler did not ask for them. It's coming from his dad. He then sent another email requesting even more documents from us. It is a very, very long email, and there's a lot of private information. As you can see, it's blurred, but I will read different sections from it. I will look forward to hearing from an officer of 2Wipe Court. If I do not hear back within a reasonable and appropriate time frame based on the fact that my earlier email was ignored, which I explained why it was, I will stop all communication and bring legal action on behalf of Tyler Glenn Mopey against all parties mentioned in this email.
To be fair, this is exactly how lawsuits work. I don't know why this part was taken out, because this is exactly how they work in specific. Because what happens is you send a letter saying what's wrong, what they're going to be suing for. You give them a time frame a time frame to respond to that letter. with your rebuttal, essentially. If you don't respond within the certain time frame, you go further into a lawsuit. That's literally how that works. I don't understand the point of this.
And Tyler never mentioned the fact that he came at us legally first. If no criminal violations occurred, then all being accused will be vindicated, and those who have accused
saying that he didn't mention this in his video. Got it. My
bad. If the violations did occur, you ignore this email. This sees the inside of a courtroom. All penalties will be enforced to the fullest extent of the law, and no friendly considerations will be given to any party. And then at the end of the email, this is how we found out Tyler was leaving 2Hype. It was an email from his dad that had legal threats, and it said, in closing, I would like to remind you all that Mopey walked away from 2Hype for moral and ethical reasons that involve the actions both personally and professionally of the 2Hype members, and he was not pushed out or forced out. The plan was for when Tyler got back from rehab to tell us whether he wanted to be in the group, how he was feeling, but no, you didn't come to us, you didn't have a group discussion with us. We've had to find out from your dad in an email where you're literally threatening us with lawsuits, Tyler. You couldn't have come and talked to us after everything we've been through. We had to find out through an email. We could have made everything mutual. Nothing had to be a back and forth attack. There had to be no legal action. But no, this is how everything happened. And keep in mind, Tyler, everything before rehab, we're meeting, we're talking to each other, you come back, stop talking to us, and threaten us legally. But in your video, you make it seem like we're coming after you legally when this has been going on for over a month. There are more threats in this email. We replied telling him, you are not Tyler's power of attorney, which basically means he'd be able to sign for Tyler, act as if he was.
I don't know how old Tyler is. He's 20, 21? So I guess, yeah, I guess his dad shouldn't be involved. I don't know. I don't know how that works when you're making like a lawsuit, because if your parent pushes for a lawsuit, then I don't know all the rules on that and how that works. Either way, I feel like with this video, this video shouldn't have really been made. Like, I feel like bringing this legal stuff on the internet is super touchy, in my opinion. I don't know. It seems very, very touchy.
Tyler, and what he responded with 22? Was a middle finger.
What?
Then from that point on, all of the emails started coming from Tyler's own email. During this time when Tyler was threatening us with legal action, he was still living in the house. So we pretty much told him, like, dude, you have to leave in 30 days. You haven't paid rent in 8 months.
Which
you're suing your friends. And your dad is physically threatening us, and you won't talk to us. This was a back and forth email about living in the house. I'm going to paraphrase because it's kind of a lot. He was asking for information on the lease. He thanked us for that.
I agree,
Chris wasn't living in the house. The washer and dryer were his. He took them. As for me not making any payments on rent for the past 8 months, you must provide me with a complete financial breakdown that involves all members of 2Hype that are leaseholders and subleaseholders, and the rent due and paid from each to substantiate that I have not completed rent payments as needed. Also, if I'm not mistaken, there was money directly taken from 2Hype court checking account and paid toward rent. Please provide the financial details on that point as well, if in fact it did happen, or prove to me that it did not happen. Now, the 2Hype Corporation started subsidizing the 2Hype house rent as we were filming a bunch of different videos there. We all agreed on that. We all had to pay less rent, and Tyler, you just never paid rent, and now you're asking for documents that prove that. We're friends, bro. It's a discussion about rent. It's not like, oh, Tyler, I'm gonna make a document that says you owe me this rent every month and hold you to it. It's like, nah, bro, like that's your rent. Later in the emails, he says, I'd like to add that you emailing 3 members that are not leaseholders, but only subleaseholders, one, in fact, is not even involved in this matter, is unlawful conduct on your part. What he's talking about, we added Cash to the email because Cash is in 2Hype. He's been involved in all these legal things too. He's part of the group. So we just added him to the email. And he's literally saying, do it again and I will bring legal action against you for defamation of character, and I'm not threatening you, I am promising you. Because we added Cash to an email chain, Tyler said this. This is coming straight from Tyler. I am not threatening you, I am promising you. And then he said, furthermore, if you stop paying utilities, I will bring...
Okay, that's what I was thinking too. I just didn't want to say anything. Like, there's other people that also didn't pay rent for multiple months within the house, and the 9,000 is definitely not the highest amount of rent that hasn't been paid. Hello? Zachary? Thank you so much for the raid. Oh no, they have to listen to this fucking drama? Let me preface really quick before before you all get bombarded with shit you don't even fucking care about. My name's Woofy. I do art on Twitch TV. I customize shoes and everything like that. If you would like to take a look at stuff that I've done, I'll show you really quick. But thank you. How's your stream? What were you playing? I was gonna go in and annoy you with my like 50-month resub, but I didn't. So, wins only. Alright, this is some of my work. I work on Vans and stuff like that. I wanted to do custom shoes for Afro, but he doesn't. He fucking hates me, so he won't let me. But yeah, I do custom shoes and stuff. And yeah. But yeah, right now we're listening to drama and stuff like that with a YouTube group. I don't really care too much about the subject at the moment because I feel like I have no real say in any of it. But I used to live with these people, so I'm just listening to the drama pretty much. So, but yeah, if you'd like to, you can follow me on my socials and come back at a different time. I do play League ever so often, but I usually paint and stuff most of the time. But yeah, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh boy, I'm so sorry. Did Zach throw you under the bus? He's gonna do it again. To be honest, okay, so what's gonna happen is Jester made his video, Zach's gonna make his video, and more than likely, instead of talking and responding to TD and Mopey or whatever, he's probably gonna talk about all the points that I brought up. And I wasn't really done. I didn't really share shit during my stream, but he's gonna probably clip some things from my stream, talk about that, and then who fucking knows, and then completely ignore TD and maybe touch on Mopey. I don't see him going after Los. I feel like a lot of people are just kind of forgetting about everything that Los has said or something, because I feel like that was a fight that was last year. So what's gonna happen is you guys are gonna hear more shit about me, and I can't wait. I can't wait to be threatened and get death threats every day and harassed and called a whore every day for the next year again. So sick. But thank you guys. Hey, where's Maria Alerts at? Duke, thank you so much for the happy new year, and thank you for the resub. I appreciate it. Thank you. What is this? I was watching Afro movie hosted. I'm sorry. Apologize. Yoshama, I would support you in any way. Thank you. But yeah, I'm sure he'll skew a bunch of texts that were who knows how old. Probably me agreeing with him, talking shit either about Los or something. Who fucking knows? Because I've never talked shit about TD. I've never talked shit about anyone besides agreeing with him on what he said about Los. So if he goes down that road, so be it. And as far as like purchases from Amazon, I never denied it. And so if he wants to go down that way, I have all those receipts too. So I don't know. Who just rated you? Afro Moo. But yeah, so I have no problem admitting where I was wrong, and I already have, so.
Legal action against all leaseholders, because with subleaseholders, it would be unlawful contact to do so. We never did that. The utilities never turned off. Mitchell lived there at the time, but he actually moved out because he was afraid to run into Tyler because of the threats with his dad and everything that was going on legally. He moved back in with his parents. Tyler ended the email saying, "I look forward to one day hearing from Jesse and Mitchell what I possibly could have done to make them afraid of me, for I've known them since first grade. As for Zach, James, and Cash, wow, what can I say? They are afraid of me." Tyler, you won't even talk to me at this time? We talked about the house stuff. Now back to the documents. Tyler started requesting them under his email. He asked them. So we set up a time and place for him to view the documents, which was at the Two-Wipe house where Tyler was living. And the 4-hour window we set up for Tyler to view all the documents he asked for, he left the house and he just never showed up. So all of this back and forth about the emails, we set up a time. He literally didn't show up. After that, more time had passed. Tyler stopped sending threatening emails and got an actual lawyer, and now we've been dealing with that back and forth. During this time, we won the Streamies Award. It was a really big night.
Dude, I feel like he's not being very fair. Like, granted, Mopey made a video, or no, Jester made a video first, Mopey responded, and now Jester's making another video. Like, I feel like there's a lot of shit missing, and I mean, if someone's going through a lot and is super depressed, they may act irrational and stuff like that, and if you know that, why are you... I feel like this is low-key kind of an attack, but I don't know, I could be wrong. I get he's trying to clear his name, but I feel like there's just a better way to do this. Like, if I were Jesser, I would have said sorry to my viewer base, brought up the points where I was wrong. Him talking about where he should have had better communication. I probably would have explained that to my viewer base. Like, hey, I should have had better communication with my friend. We're still friends. We're going to figure this out. I'm so sorry to you guys for having to sit through all this drama. I hope you can work with us and still grow with us as we get through this moment in time. I feel like I would have said something like that. And then probably handled shit offline. And then came back online with the final... like results. How old are you? Too old for this.
For us, and on that night, Tyler quote tweeted it and put L hype, except for Cash and Mitchell, they're cool. And then after that, we send you a cease and desist letter because making all of this public is a lose-lose situation for both of us.
Would you buy an Amazon?
And in that cease and desist letter, it literally says we want to
apartment.
resolve this in a mutually agreeable manner. None of this has to be online. In your tweet about the cease and desist, you say they're not victims, don't fall for it. Yet you've been threatening to sue us legally for weeks and literally just won't talk to us. And then after that, you dropped your video painting a lot of us in an extremely bad light. And it's so crazy to me because, Tyler, all these things you're expressing in your video, you never expressed to me in person. When you got back, it's like you flipped a switch on our friendship. Everything you said in your video, you never discussed with me in person. But now, let's get into Tyler's video so I can address each point he makes.
And getting into talking about everything, they sent me a cease and desist
Caught
letter.
the hydrocell, enjoy.
So I do need to be careful with what I'm saying because they're threatening to sue me. I've literally only said L hype and I'll be making a video and they're already sending me a cease and desist letter. Like, what does that tell you? Like, they're willing to do and say anything. I'll be going into a lot more later about that, but yeah, I'm gonna be talking about a lot.
Tyler, you saying the only thing you've done is put out a tweet is a complete lie. You threatened us with legal action on November 21st. You put out this tweet on December 12th. You're literally lying and manipulating your audience. You said you had to be careful because of the cease and desist letter. I feel like I have to be careful because you've threatened to sue me and your dad has threatened to sue me. And you guys are probably gonna threaten to sue me for this video.
But I've just been,
I mean, yeah, it's probably why you shouldn't put it out. Both sides shouldn't have put anything
used
out.
and abused.
If that's the
used
case.
online, my mopey personality.
You claimed we abused you as Mopey. I assume this is reference to the Mopey abuse trend. But Tyler, me and you and the group have had countless conversations talking about the Mopey abuse thing, but you always told us you were cool with it and you ran with it on your own channel too. You kept...
I feel like this abuse thing, like, you saw how it happened with Los. Like, Los eventually got tired and said something about it, but in the heat of things, you're not going to be like, hey, yo, can you leave me alone? Because you don't want to be a party pooper and stuff like that, so you kind of like suck it up. Like, I've had situations like that, or I've been in games and lobbies with other content creators, and then they'll start like mocking somebody or shitting on somebody, and you're like, fuck, this is uncomfortable, I don't want to be here, but you don't say anything because you don't want to ruin the party and stuff like that. So I don't know. And then when it's a trend, you kind of just go with it because that's what's cool, you know? So you're like, fuck it, let me suck it up, you know? Let me suck it up, let me just go with it. So I don't know.
that trend up on your own channel. Every 100,000 subscribers, you would do a video of us hurting you, Tyler, and you've always reassured us that the Mopey abuse stuff was okay, and you did it on your own channel.
And abused,
Los chat
like, as
literally
Tyler,
abuses him
like,
more than two hype. Yeah. Los talks about that
forgetting
though
about
too.
Tyler and only caring about Mopey.
And he knows that it's a
Mopey
joke.
showing
He
up for
feels
the
like it
videos
was
or
never a
just
joke with two hype.
Just doesn't care about Tyler, and they're gonna say otherwise. Like when I put out my tweet, they all just tried saying
If you made custom
they
shoes,
helped
did you
me
sign
out
them?
more
Sure.
than anyone, showing texts of support, like all that stuff. But no, I'm not having some fake agenda like that, like fake agenda that went out with like TD and Los go out there. Like, I'm saying the truth.
Tyler, I've known you since kindergarten. There has never been a hidden agenda in our friendship. I've known you for over 10 years and you've been one of my closest friends. And I genuinely believe what I said in my tweet is true. I taught you how to edit and make videos. I gave you an opportunity to move into the house, and I promised you I would pay for your entire first year of rent for free while I helped you build your own career. And then even after that first year, you would go months without paying me, but because you were one of my closest friends, I let it slide and I took responsibility for that. And besides the YouTube stuff, Tyler, I tried to help you become an adult. You never had a credit card, you never had a credit score. We had multiple discussions about, Tyler, this is what you need to get a credit card. This is the step-by-step process. But you say I don't care about Tyler, but I don't want one of my closest friends to be a grown man with no credit score. Like, you literally act like I never tried to help. Did you want me to drive you to the bank and talk to the teller for you? I don't understand. I also helped you with all of your videos because I wanted you to succeed alongside me and do this together. And Tyler, did I only care about Mopey when we all had to get together?
I literally said this when Mopey was when Mopey did his video. I was like, you could be a friend and just go with your friend and explain it. Like, cause some people need shit dumbed down. Some people do. I don't know. I feel like I would have went with somebody to the bank and done it with them. I don't know if that's too much to ask, and I get it when you're really busy. It is too much to ask, but I don't know. I feel like this is the least of the problems, though. Credit and banking stuff, I feel like that was the least of the problems. I literally said this. If it were my friend, I would have went with them, you know? Are you gonna make art soon? Maybe. I'll be working on shoes for sure tomorrow.
Together at my house, you got drunk, went on the mini ramp, and continuously tried hurting yourself and were falling every time. I pulled you off multiple times. I was so scared, and I didn't want to see you get injured as my friend. I love you. I don't want to see anyone get injured. I had to pull you off multiple times, but I just don't care, apparently. I'll talk about all this more later in the video, but I genuinely feel I've always tried to help you, Tyler, not Mopey, with what you're going through.
Yeah, going into each one of the individuals that I have issues with, I'll start out with Jesser, because everybody's probably wondering, like, wasn't that your friend since elementary school? It's like, yeah, he was. He's gone, though. It's just Jesser.
What is the timeline of this, though? Today or 5 years ago? I don't know. What are you talking about? I think he's giving all situations from the past year. I'm pretty sure this is all situations from the past year. Because when I was in the Yorba Linda house, I didn't notice their relationship faltering at all, in my opinion. They looked healthy at the Yorba Linda house, but obviously I stayed in my room. I didn't get involved with any of that shit, so I have no idea. Let me lick your face? Okay. Anyway.
There is no Jesse. And he's been doing some really nasty stuff that I don't ever care to see. I wouldn't have went with my friend to the bank. That's a grown man.
It's not a grown man, though. Because, okay, if you think of it, when it comes to credit and banking, where do you see creditors and stuff leech off people? In college. Mopey would technically be in college at this time. Do you know how many young college students get fucked over in college because they don't know shit about credit or banking? They literally prey on people in their 20s. So, I don't know. Like I said, I told you what I would do as a friend. If I was super experienced in baking and stuff like that, I would go out of my way. Especially if you know that your friend is struggling. Like, there's a difference when your friend is just acting normal and just being lazy, right? There's a difference between that and then someone who's actually struggling. I don't know. And you can't play the grown man card when you've seen what I've gone through with a 30-year-old man crying over cake. Like, come on, dude.
Happened more recently, but I'll get into stuff that happened over the year and past years. But and Chris was supporting this too. But Jesse saying I'm fighting serious demons and
I did all that by myself at 17.
Basically just painting me out to be like mentally unstable because I put out my L-hype tweet. Like, I can't describe how I feel about the manipulation and like the disgust for what he's doing.
Tyler, the reason I said you were fighting demons is because I didn't want to publicly tell everyone you were going to rehab. I didn't want to publicly say you were going through an intense addiction. That's very personal, and it wasn't my place to say that. I also said don't fuel someone who's not okay. I apologize for this comment. It was insensitive. In the moment when I made that video about you, I was extremely emotional. And Tyler, you were going through it mentally. As you discussed later in the video, you talk about how you're drinking, you're smoking, you're vaping, you're hurting yourself. You said these things in the videos. You were going through it. You were fighting demons.
Yeah, I've been abusing the sauce, the devil's lettuce. I'm not saying the word for demonetization or whatever, but
he
yeah,
really needs to lose that phrase, dude.
Nicotine, and in the past year, alcohol, like really badly.
Tyler, I apologize that my words were portrayed as calling you mentally unstable. That was never my intention when I said you were fighting demons. I believed it was appropriate to say this because I didn't want to expose private information about your substance abuse. And Tyler, you were going through a battle with yourself. As you said, you were going through a really bad period of your life this year. It was never meant to call you mentally unstable at all.
I never thought that getting into YouTube years down the line, I would be having my own brother manipulated by Jesser and tried to be used against me as a manipulation strategy by him to make people think that he cares about me and that he's reaching out to my family to support me. Like I can't even, like, it's crazy. I'm speechless. I don't know how to form words right now because it's so ridiculous.
This is my fault. I definitely should not have mentioned your mother or your brother in the video. That was inappropriate of me. When I did make the video, it was very emotional. Your brother called me after. I apologized to him. Do I regret talking to your mom or your brother? No, absolutely not. The reason I reached out to your brother is I expressed my concerns about you hurting yourself.
I just feel like
there were things that you did that you didn't tell him about, and you were hurting yourself, and I was concerned as a friend. And same thing with your mom. That's what I reached out to her about, was you hurting yourself because I'm worried about you. So no, I don't regret reaching out to your family. Do I regret putting it online and mentioning it publicly? Yes, 100%. I should not have done that. That was my fault.
After I saw Jesse talk about my brother in his video, and my mom too, which is 100% not okay with me, I texted my brother, and this is what he said. I can't imagine how weird it was for him to be talking to Jesser, and like they've never talked before, and he's trying to make it out like he was trying to help me by talking to him on the phone, and then he just said online like he's like it. I don't even know what to say.
Tyler, you say I've never talked to your brother before. This is simply a lie. I've known you since kindergarten. He's your brother. He's come to the house many times. We've done videos together, literally on your channel, so I have talked to your brother before. Yes, I did express to your brother about the hate because I didn't want it to be a back and forth, a lose-lose situation of us dropping videos together. I was talking to Preston about how we could keep this offline. And obviously, as I said earlier, I was expressing my concerns of you hurting yourself to him. And if you meant I had never talked to him on the phone or about your addiction or what you're going through with him, yes, that is true. That was the first time I talked to him about it because I didn't have any way to communicate with you, Tyler, so I had to go to your family to express my concerns as a friend.
And the eyes too, like he probably just rubbed his eyes and started to just get watery eyes. Like it's an act. It's all manipulation act. He does not care.
He doesn't sound genuine.
He only cares because he wants to uphold his online
I think
image.
Jesser's just a really good, fluent speaker at this point.
That's all they all care about. That's it. And
especially, I feel like it's really unfortunate because Mopey clearly isn't a strong speaker, especially in comparison to Jesser. So it's just, dude, this is like, I don't know, someone that can speak fluent and can get their ideas and point across really, really well versus somebody that's clearly emotionally drained and just struggling. Dude, I don't know. Both sides had to leave out so much, and none of us are going to actually hear the truth, you know? So you just take it with a grain of salt. Honestly, at the end of the day, like, you guys shouldn't really be sending any hate towards either person. So, at least in my opinion, you shouldn't send hate to either person, and especially all the people that I've seen already in different chats saying, like, Lopi and stuff like that. Bro, if this is true about him, well, it is. So it's true that was going through an addiction. It's true that he is going to rehab and stuff like that. Bro, you guys saying like mean stuff to him is going to put him right back on that path. Because now he probably feels even more alone. So, I don't know. I feel like you should kind of take all this YouTube drama with a grain of salt, to be honest. It is really stupid. And I feel it is important for a lot of us to get our side out, especially like the people that have been hurt really, really badly. But when it goes back and forth like this, dude, it's not healthy at all.
do anything to keep that.
Tyler, you said I rub my eyes as a manipulation tactic to look sad, when this whole back and forth, like, this has been some of the lowest points of my life. This situation is literally the only thing I've been able to think about in the last month. I can't even sleep at night without thinking this. This is extremely emotional, this situation for me. And to you acting like, oh, I'm just rubbing my eyes.
I probably should have just got my side out way back then.
I've always
and
loved
no one
you,
would have heard it, and I should have just left
betrayed.
it that way and not
this whole
gave a fuck.
situation is extremely personal and
I really
emotional
don't.
to me.
I gotta take accountability for not being
there,
entirely open with how bad things
and
were
I still
with me
haven't
this
posted
year,
it because I've been so fucking busy.
I was open enough and things were visible enough to see that I needed help, and Jesse was never there for me. Jesser. It's not even Jesse anymore. It's just Jesser was never there for me.
This is a flat out lie, and this one hurts so much because, Tyler, I cared about you so much throughout the year and tried really hard to help you. Tyler, I tried my best to help you. I tried to reach out to you. Am I a trained professional? No. Nope. You're my first friend that's ever gone through an addiction. I don't know how to perfectly fix it or help you, but dude, I did try. And it's like an example like this text. No worries. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you with, bro. It's all good, dude. Just needs time.
Still a weight that need to be lifted, for sure.
I would give you opportunities for you to express what was happening and tell me, but you would just bottle it in inside. I really got into meditation, priming this dude named Tony Robbins who tries to help people like get their mind together. I sent Tyler a lot of that stuff to try to help him through it because that's what helped me. And I thought, you know, maybe this will help Tyler. Even right here, Tyler texted me that he's gonna be in my videos, but he didn't want to record his own. And I was like, dude, you don't have to do that. Just take it easy. And he says, I'll sit it out. And then I asked him, yo, let's go work out. Let's meditate. You know, something good for you, something that's helped me mentally. Like, this is an opportunity to help you, Tyler, and you don't respond. I read a lot of books about mental.
And I feel like because you're reaching out through text, I don't know if they were living together at the time, but this is why I think seeing somebody in person makes a massive difference than through text, man. I don't know. I feel like the whole textual stuff is so fucking weird and like flip-floppy, you know what I'm saying? Because if I were to compare this to stuff that I've went through, this was like the same thing when ZACK was going through his depression. He had no problem being in everyone else's videos, but he never made his own. I would give him ideas, I would give him topics, I'd say you should do something different instead of doing the same thing all the time. You should do this, that. Maybe try it, see if you like it. Because he really enjoyed his content on Twitch, but he didn't enjoy his YouTube content. So I tried saying, hey, what if you take your Twitch content and do a spin-off of Twitch and put it on YouTube instead? Like something that you actually enjoy. And he just refused to do his own content, you know what I'm saying? So I tried to change my habits and get outside more. So hopefully it would influence him to get outside and work out and stuff more. Sometimes when people aren't in the mood, or if they're down, or if they feel like they're in a place where they're not moving and they're just stagnant, they need a actual push, like some friends to push them, you know? Like the whole house should have actually took the time and maybe had a genuine conversation. But this is all a learning curve. This is all a huge learning experience for all of them.
Mental health and self-motivation, so I would send those to Tyler because that's what helped me from my experience. And it's like he would say, I really appreciate you sending this stuff to read and listen to, dude. The other stuff like Kevin Hart's book and Chop Wood, 2 other motivational books, he's like, I want to read and finish sometime. I'm gonna be honest, I can't really get behind what this guy's about. I'm really happy it's helping you a ton though. Tyler doesn't really like Tony Robbins. That's okay, he helped me. I tried to send it to him. I reached out to Tyler, yo bro, let's talk one-on-one soon. Let me know when you can. We're gonna figure all this out. I love you. We're all here for you and want the best. Definitely talk soon. And Tyler, like you express things like, oh, we didn't help you clean your room. I'm saying let's talk Thursday. If you need any help with your things, let me know.
Definitely
all you have to do is ask me. When I reached out to you with these messages, Tyler.
Someone that's depressed isn't gonna ask anything. Somebody that's depressed isn't gonna ask anything. What is so hard to understand? That's so, man. I do like Jesser. I think Jesser's a great kid. Like, honestly, I think Jesser means well, but fuck, bro. You gotta use your brain. You're getting older. You have to use your brain. You have to have some empathy. And I feel like what happens when you do live in the celebrity lifestyle and stuff like that, you lose a lot of empathy. I don't know. It was crazy when I lived in the house to see how much they texted each other instead of actually going to each other's rooms. Maybe that, I don't know, that's just not how I would function if I lived with a bunch of my friends. It was fucking weird. I don't know. The texting is weird. The texting is really weird to me.
There was no ulterior motive or manipulation. I wanted to help you. You were my friend. For example, what are you doing tonight? You want to talk things through or just vibe? Like, I was trying to help you, Tyler. I'm sorry I didn't do a better job at helping
tension
you.
maybe
I genuinely
good, yeah.
am, but I hope you know I tried. When I moved out, I was extremely busy, yet I
Super
still
late or
put
super
in
early
effort and tried to
facts.
help you, Tyler. I had gotten a house for the first time. I went through a breakup of a near 2-year relationship that was extremely hard on me. I'm running multiple different companies, multiple different YouTube channels, managing other YouTube channels. I have a ton of stuff going on, but I genuinely did try to help you while I was doing all of that.
Yeah, I genuinely don't think Jesser knew how to
And
handle
I'm sorry I
the
didn't put more
situation,
time.
which is
I'm
understandable.
Sorry. Like, looking back, I wish I could have helped
Back
you with all this
in.
more. I genuinely do, dude, and it makes me so sad that it's gone to this point. I got all our friends together and I made a challenge. It was called Sober October.
Are you on anybody's side?
Text.
Of course I'm on the
rules.
people's
The winner gets
side
1,000
that got
cash.
hurt.
I will supply. Last two
course.
place have to take the rest of the boys out to dinner. Me and Todd made.
This is cringe. I don't know what this is. I think I came into somebody's stream. I think I came into Walker's stream during this part. I did see this. This is cringe. I don't know anyone who would think this is a good idea. If you know anything about addiction or mental health and stuff like that, like putting money as a prize, dude, this is so like bad. This is insulting to mental health, like honestly. There's a lot of people in this world, when they're addicted to a substance, they would rather have that high, that escape, that good feeling, rather than any type of money that you put in front of their face. Come on, dude. Like, I get the intention, but putting a monetary prize is interesting. And this isn't the first time I've seen something like this, not necessarily from Jesser, but this isn't the first time I've seen stuff like this happen in the house, where there's a money prize for doing something that like you should want for yourself. This isn't the first time, but yeah, this is
the list. So I'm gonna blur out this list because it's bad. One of the main reasons I did this challenge is because I wanted to help you, but you didn't even make it to the first
2 points
day.
per minute working
Like,
out.
I can try to help you,
1
but I
point
can't force you,
per
Tyler. Like,
minute
if you take a
meditating.
horse to water, you can't force it to drink. I tried to help you, bro. You didn't take my help. And at the time, like, I wanted to get sober too. I'm not perfect either. These 2 text messages when you went to rehab,
want me to
you didn't hit me
move?
back
I'm sure you
up.
guys have
I
already
know you
seen
were
this a
texting other
billion
people,
times,
but
but
you decided not to hit me
no,
back
no.
up. Until after you got back, we texted back and forth a little bit.
I'm not
but
stopping
then
to read
obviously
this shit.
everything switched when you
It's not
started
my
threatening
business.
us. And all of these things I showed were just text messages. I showed those as proof because it's physical proof that I did try to help you, Tyler. As you say, I didn't try to help you. Tyler, you're forgetting about all the personal conversations we've had about this. You act like we've never discussed
holding
this.
each
This
other
is a
accountable.
major
I can
thing
get
throughout
that.
the year. We've had
I
many
just-
discussions about it. Obviously, Tyler, when I did live in the house, we were way closer.
I don't know. I can understand the holding each other accountable, but when someone's actually going through a real addiction and to the point where they have to go to rehab, that's not on the same scale as, oh, we've been drinking too much, bro. We need to be sober. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Sir, we talked about things a lot more. Yes, when I moved out, we didn't talk as much. It's just part of not
The fact
living
that
with
he
each
broke-
other.
he
But
broke
you're
the
forgetting all the
challenge in one
countless
day is
conversations
disgraceful.
we've
It's
had
little
in
digs,
person
dude.
too, where
Little
we
digs.
have
I don't
talked
like
about
'em.
what you're going through, and you're just acting like this never happened. I also wanted to include this clip as it shows an example of one of the times we met as a group and discussed what was going on with Tyler.
I remember when we had a talk outside. You know,
Oh, is this from the?
Mobley was saying,
This is from the.
that he was
Cash
going
video?
to go get help or whatnot. You know, Jesuit was crying. You know, what I mean, I can never forget how the face, you know, the face Jersey had, like he was disappointing himself because he felt like that he could have did more for Mopic. You know what I mean? That's the energy I had felt from
Part
him.
of not living together.
When I
He
talked to him
texts
in
in the same
person and he
house.
said I hugged him and tried to use it against me, whatever, like he hugged me. I wish I said just like, I don't get away, like whatever, but yeah,
I think it's all too early to judge.
he asked
I'm
asked
just
me what my goal
watching
was
because y'all
with
want to
the
watch, to be
tweet
honest.
and if I wanted a
This is
bag.
not my business.
Like he wasn't going there to check on me or really talk to me. He was trying. He made me feel bad. He tried to make me feel bad about the hate he was getting.
Tyler, I did
Thank you,
hug you.
Ivan.
I hugged you because I loved you and I care about you as a friend. Also, after that conversation, you texted Mitchell that I exposed you to coronavirus. Why do you think I have these hidden agendas going at you? You think I'm hugging you
so
to
many
give
people
you
have
coronavirus?
the vid,
I don't
baby.
have any hidden agenda against you, Tyler. I love you as a friend. I did ask you what your goal was with the L-Hype tweet because it came to a complete shock to me. And then you saying right after, you asked me if I wanted a bag. What I asked you is, why did you get lawyers involved? Was it for a bag? Because you're obviously leaving the group, right? You have a couple options when you leave the group. You can agree to a buyout where you sell your shares to the company, getting a bag. Or do you want to just own your percentage of the company, leave the group, but still try to make money off it by having a percentage? Or did you want to give your shares back? Did you want to give them to Mitchell? I still don't understand why you have lawyers and why you're demanding these documents. You've
As
never
a friend,
made it
take a
clear
drink for how many
what
times
you want,
he
and I was
says
trying
this
to
in the
figure that
video.
out because we are in the dark. You're skewing conversations because in that conversation we talked about you being sober, but we literally only talked for 10 minutes because you said you had to go and you just left. Like, I would have loved to sat down with you in hours and go back and forth because of all this legal stuff. We didn't talk for a while, and this is our first time talking. You can only give me 10 minutes? Also, Tyler, in this conversation I had with you, I asked you when in your life you ever felt you couldn't ask me something and I wouldn't say yes to it. And this is what you told me. You said, when I asked you to hide my devil's lettuce, you didn't. I didn't feel comfortable doing that. I'm gonna be honest, I felt in a weird position having to do that. It made me uncomfortable, and I didn't want you going through my room looking for it. It's like, if you want me to hide it, dude, just throw it away. Don't put it on me. And this, you feel like this is the only time I've said no to you in your life? I am sorry, Tyler. I wish I could have helped more with that situation, and looking back, I wish I did. Addressing the part where you say I tried to make you feel bad for all the hate I was getting, yes, I was pretty upset about it. It's caused me to be at some of the lowest points of my life, hearing everyone say I snaked my best friend like this. While I still don't understand this hatred that's built up for me that you've bottled in, that's just released. I don't understand it, where it's came from. You've never addressed these problems to me in private, Tyler. Never. You just go online after everything we've been through and start talking shit.
The fact that he tries using the rent that he helped me out with and that
Trying
he helped me out with my channel in the first place,
felt that.
and he uses that against me to like keep me under his thumb. It's terrible. It's not friendship. That's not a friend.
When have I ever used me helping you with your channel, helping you pay rent against you? Never in my life have I been like, oh dude, I paid your rent. Oh, I helped you with your channel. You owe me this. No, we never even talk about that. That's never even been brought up between us, Tyler. The reason I helped you is because you're my friend. It's not some manipulation tactic to get you to do things for me. And Tyler, yes, earlier in the video I did bring up the rent and some of the things I did for you, but that was just to show I care as a friend, as you made this video saying I don't.
Because of all the stuff that's been happening, I wish I never took his help. And I almost wish I didn't go move into the YouTube house in Yorba Belinda. I wish I just went to college sometimes and didn't get like this deeply involved in any of this because how bad it's turned out. Like I've literally just been a pawn, I feel like, to his grind to 10 million subscribers. Like he helped me out with that stuff. But it's all because he just needs people around him to make videos.
Tyler, before you even moved in, I was living with YouTubers. I had YouTubers around me. I've had people to make my content. I don't need you to make content. I wanted you to move in because you were my boy, and I wanted you to have your own career, your own YouTube channel. And yes, did I want you to be a part of my journey? Hell yeah, bro. You were one of my closest friends. I wanted you to be in all my videos, and I helped you with all of yours too. You're saying I used you as a pawn when that's simply not true. And Tyler, once again, you have never expressed this way you're feeling to me.
I don't remember what
I never knew you felt like this at all. You hid it from me. Like, I wish we could have talked about this. I wish you would have came up to me and be like, bro, I feel like you're using me. And I wish we could have talked it out because these are such ridiculous claims.
Supporting that feeling that I have of being just used. When we made the VR channels, he took 51% of my VR channel. Like, all those channels were just started up for money because VR channels were the fastest growing at the time. He took 51% of my channel and then bragged about it.
What are we watching? Drama, baby.
And he'll deny that or whatever.
I can't listen to this anymore. Bye, Steven.
Stuck in my brain, and I could never
almost done
believe how this dude can say that about his elementary school friend that he
You're at sick
owns, like his channel, and like as
Thank
something
you.
to brag about. Like it's like nothing I want to be around.
Now, I've never publicly
Je
said this,
m'appelle-
but I do own a company
Ah,
that manages
Je
YouTube
m'appelle
channels.
is,
It's a side
what's
thing
your
I
name
do.
in
I
it?
put a lot of work and energy into it. Tyler, you agreed
Hi,
to
RJ.
doing all of this. You were excited to do it. You were hella about it. All you had to do was record the videos, and I would handle everything outside of that. You were hyped for it. I spent thousands of dollars
this is
getting the
the
videos edited,
51%
spent a lot of
thing.
time reviewing the videos, working on them, and then you expressed to me one day, you're like, hey, Jesse, I don't want to do the VR channel. With no hesitation, I told Tyler, yeah, that's fine. Like, I understand. I get it. You're going through a lot. Let's not do it. You don't want to do it. I'm not going to ever force you. But it's like,
That's
did I
not your
say, oh,
name?
I paid for
Oh.
your rent, helped you build your career, so you have to do this? No. With no hesitation, I said, Tyler,
Je
that's
m'appelle
fine. You don't
means
have
my
to do
name
this.
is.
I will
See?
deny you saying I was
Fuck you,
bragging
Sly.
about this because that never happened, Tyler. I forgot to include this in the video, so I'm doing a voiceover, but
Hey,
Tyler,
cool,
your
Lo.
VR
See?
channel, it never even
See?
had an upload on it. And Tyler, we never even had a contract for this channel, so technically I never even owned 51%, and why would I brag about a channel that has no uploads and no videos?
Dude, just how like selfish this dude is, and actually all the guys.
Then where would
this
he get the
applies to all of them.
51% from?
But we were in a Discord call when it was time for Moochie to join 2Ape. We were talking, and I was put it out there. I
Harry
was like,
Balls
hey, is
isn't your
anybody
name?
else
Oh.
willing to give up a percent or two so Mitchell feels more part of the group? Nobody wanted to. He's just on a tiny salary now. Mitchell doesn't own a percent of 2Ape. Jesser was not willing to give up 1% for our elementary school friend, one of the dudes that adds the most to the group, pure good person, funny entertainment. These guys and Jesser could not give up 1% for him. We could have all given up a percent, and he could have had 6% of 2Ape. That sounds
Equal
amazing
cash?
to me.
I have no problem with cash.
But no, he's just on a tiny salary because they can.
You
Because
have
it's a
two Instagrams,
business.
one
It's
for
not
art,
fun.
one
It's
for
not
personal.
fun or friendship. It's a
See.
business.
Tyler, you expressed to the group that you were unhappy with your amount of shares. So we had a meeting where we shifted all the shares and you went up more than anyone and I went down. And the reason I went down is because I want you to be comfortable and happy as my friend. If I'm this money hungry person, why would I give up shares to you like that? And Mitchell is my best friend and he's not on a small salary. Mitchell is making very good money. I have talked to Mitchell about owning a percentage of the company in the future and he can back me up on this. This is just, once again, not true. And Tyler,
Yeah,
you
but-
also never gave a share to Mitchell. And it's like, if you wanted to do that, you could. The shares that you have right now, why don't you just give them all to Mitchell instead of coming at us with lawyers the way you're talking?
And the thing that makes it so annoying is they try to paint it as not a business and it's all about the friendship and all of them doing it for fun. It's like, no. Stop.
They just want to get
being
Mopey out.
so,
They're like, yo, just give
stop
over
trying to
everything,
keep the
bro.
greediness and selfishness in the dark.
Just
like,
give it
that's
all
what's
up.
aggravating for the people that have been abused by it. Like, own up to the shit.
Are you
like,
cool with
stop
Chris? Hell
lying.
no.
It's so bad. Like the sidemen are a great example. Like, they're a wannabe sidemen, but they're terrible people.
Give them all to
Like,
Mitchell?
what else
Bro,
would you
if
expect
my
from a wannabe sideman
body
group
is in
from
videos,
LA?
I want
Like,
my fucking money for them.
it's bound to be fake as hell, just greedy, selfish, self-gain,
Equal TD,
like
of
all
course.
of that. So sidemen
If I like it
are
personal, welcome,
amazing
thank
because
you.
they're genuine. They do stuff fair. They don't abuse people on the business side. I found out some stuff on the business side that's like, what the hell? I don't care about the money like that, but I want to be treated equal. I want to be treated with
Are
respect.
you cool
and
with
that
Chris's
didn't happen.
girlfriend? No.
Tyler, once again, I wish you expressed to me in person the way you were feeling. I didn't know you felt this way. Also, you say we abused you on the business side. I am
Jesse, I have
confused
no
by
problem
this
with
because
Jesse.
the only thing that's happened since the start of the company
What's
in
your
the
art
business side
IG?
is we raised your shares. Everyone's gotten paid out on the same day. And yes, Tyler, it was a business too, but you neglected the business side of that. You wouldn't show up to a ton of the meetings. You would play video games during some of them. You didn't really put your 2 cents into the business side, but we didn't force
What does
you
it
to.
mean to
And once
play
again,
video
Tyler, I
games
wish
during
you
a meeting?
talked
How
to me
do you
about
let
this because
somebody
you
play
didn't
video
express
games
that you
during a
felt
meeting?
uncomfortable and that we were doing these things to you in the
does that
business
happen?
side.
They're not humans. They're not real people anymore. They
I feel like neither of them are
have
objectively
ascended
wrong. They just
past
need to talk it
humans,
out for sure.
normal people, and they're
For sure.
YouTube
I feel
gods.
like they'll be fine.
They're YouTube gods now, and they just make decisions. Like I heard that Jesser and Chris.
Why
were
you're not cool with Chris's
talking to
girlfriend?
TD
Why would I want to
about
be?
Kicking me out of the old house in Yorba Linda because I was like hanging out with my ex-girlfriend or
You cool with James? No.
I was just not uploading enough. I never knew that.
Tyler, I never knew this either because this never happened. Why would I want to kick you out of the house when you were one of my
Why aren't
best
you cool
friends?
with Brie?
And for
Why
the
would I
viewers who've
want
been
to be?
watching since then, the meme at the time was Mopey was never home, and I was sad because I couldn't hang out with you because
good,
you were
bro.
my friend. Why would I want to kick my friend out who I just had move in out of the house? This literally makes no sense that I want to kick someone out who is a major part of my channel and my life.
Just like Los and TD didn't know they were kicked, and Mao too, they didn't know they were kicked until it was already
You cool with
decision.
flies?
They don't feel the need to like
How's your day?
have
Great,
normal
thank you.
conversations. They just make terrible decisions on their own, like, and it's just it's nothing to be around unless you're.
What are you reacting to? Too hype
just,
drama. Because I used to live with these
I don't
people.
even know. I'm so glad I'm out of it.
Tyler,
Greetings from
that was a
Croatia.
group
So many of you
decision.
from
You have a
Croatia.
voice
Hi.
in the group. You didn't express that. You were part of that. You were there.
It's
One of the
all
reoccurring
silly.
problems throughout
It's all
all of this
silly.
is you feel some type of way, but you don't let anybody know. We can't read your mind, Tyler. The decisions that were made were not my decision. It was all of us together as a group's decision.
And the weird thing is too, they're in denial. Like they're just so deep in their own lies and just thinking that they're right and that everyone else is just the bad people going out to get them. It's like something he said
You're from
to me
Cali?
was,
No. Illinois.
all change is good change. It's like, so nobody can get lost in the money, in the internet clout? Nobody
Like,
can
yeah,
lose
for
themselves?
sure.
That's not a thing? Like,
I don't ever recall saying this. I don't think all change is a good thing. People can change for the worse. People can change for the better. It's just like a dumb statement. I never said that. I feel like you're just grasping for straws and reasons to hate
Me when
me.
what people
I've
say
seen
too
how
hype
this
drama
dude
bit. I'm
talks to
sorry.
people, like,
It's almost
like
over.
editors and people out in public, like working people.
And
it makes
before
me
someone
sick. It's
fucking
like,
puts this on their
again,
YouTube,
just
and then the
YouTube
kids
gods,
are like, "Oh, she's so
looking
annoying.
down
She's
on
not even
people, talking
reacting."
down on
Bitch,
people,
I ain't got
talking shit
nothing to
about
say.
people
It's not my
'cause
fucking business.
Apparently they feel like they can. Like
Fuck.
apparently they feel like they're the next American Sidemen and they could do whatever they want. It's like it's their heads are gonna fall off. They're getting so big and they can't.
I love how they
can't-
won't
I don't
react
even-
to
I'm
TD's
making-
video.
I'm trying to make a joke or something. I can't. Even,
Yeah,
I can't.
I was
don't
kind
know.
of
This
confused.
is extremely
by this
upsetting
Just
to me because
Mopey.
it's
I
an
feel like
attack
he
on
has
my
a
character
lot.
and who I am. Tyler, you're
I feel
saying
like-
I talk down
bro,
on
I
people,
feel
to
like
working
TD
people,
went
to
off,
editors.
bro.
I try to treat everyone
feel
I
like
meet
his
with kindness and
statements are
respect.
low-key
When have I
more-
talked down to working people and editors? I live with
Never
my
mind.
editor. He moved in with me and we're really good friends. And he
Facts
can
are
back me up
shit,
with
but
this
you're
on my
here.
character.
Another situation that stands out in my mind is we were out eating. It was Jesser, a friend of ours, and me, and we were at Cheesecake Factory
It's a
eating
whole mess.
outside.
It is.
We didn't even have our food yet, and Jesser sees this kid like walk by or whatever, and we can kind of see when someone's kind of like looking back and might recognize us, and he's like, just
Everyone
begging for
hated
the
you.
kid
Now we're on your side.
not,
I'm
like,
sure everyone will hate
walk
me
over
again
and say
after
hi.
Zach's video.
And it's
I'm
like-
excited to see
it's
what
a
he manipulates.
little kid and his dad, like, and Jesser's just begging, like, no, please don't come over here, like, leave us alone, no.
TD has
Like, I
receipts for
swear,
everything.
and
We
it's
both
like,
do.
This
Me and
kid,
him
it's
exchanged
probably gonna make
receipts.
this kid's day at least day, probably week, or something like that. Just meeting Jesser, but the other side of it is this dude is begging for him to not come over and say hi. Chris put this in Jesser, like that he's better and doesn't need to like talk to the people that support him, and it's like it's nasty, and I feel bad as a friend that I couldn't help stop that happening. But he was just living with Chris and Zach for so long
What happens
that
if
like
Zach doesn't mention you? I'd be
these
proud of
terrible
him.
attitudes about
To be honest, first thing he was mature
just
about.
life just
he
completely
will.
just changed this dude.
Yes, I will admit, there's been times in my life where I don't want to be recognized in public, especially when I'm eating. I was
schools
with
him
a
a
friend
year
from
ago,
out of
nobody
town I
believed
hadn't
him.
seen
I
in
know.
months, and you saying I'm
That's why
begging
I
for
didn't
this
say
kid to
anything.
not
If no one's
come
gonna
over
believe
is
Los, who's gonna
exaggerated. You're
fucking
making it
believe
sound
me?
like it's the end of the world if
fuck?
this kid comes over. And the thing is, we were in the outdoor area, and the only way to get to the outdoor area is going through the inside area of Cheesecake. The dad lifted the kid over the fence. This is the part you didn't mention. And I took a picture with the kid, and I had a conversation with the dad. Even though there's been times where I don't want to be recognized, I've never denied a fan a picture, but you try to put me in this light that every time a kid sees me, I'm like, oh, I hope I don't get recognized. I've met so many
Waiting for
fans in
Zach
public, and
James.
I'm
I
always
doubt- I
appreciative
doubt
of it, and those
Mopey would
people
make
who
another
have met me,
response,
they
but I
can
don't
tell you
fucking know.
that. You're saying Chris and Zach influenced me this
Hope
way,
fine
but to
then,
be
mate.
honest, I'm extremely proud of the person I've become, and Zach and Chris helped me become the person I am, and I'm forever grateful to them for that.
And then thinking it's okay to paint me as mentally unstable online just because I'm saying F the group, L hype, and he's trying to like it's just so mind-boggling how like what happened, and it's really sad. But I'm just getting away from it. I'm not gonna rack my brain over trying to change people. They're just so deep in their own ways. It's like I'm just leaving. I'm not being a part of it.
Once again, Tyler, when I said fighting demons, I did not mean to portray you as mentally unstable. You keep saying I tried to portray you as mentally unstable, so I just wanted to address that again.
I mean, that's
And
how
it's
I
like,
felt.
how did I
in those
stay a
tweets.
part of the group for so long with all this stuff happening? It's because I numb myself. You guys don't know this about me, but I need to make things combine my two lives. I've been living this mopey life, and then I have Tyler, my life,
Bye,
that
David.
I've
Have a
been
good one.
numbing
Thank you.
myself and hurting myself for a while. And yeah, I've been abusing the sauce, the devil's
Dude,
lettuce.
this was huge for
I'm not
him to
saying the word for
admit,
demonetization or
bro.
whatever,
That's so
but
fucking massive.
Yeah, I've been abusing that.
That's
Nicotine,
scary.
and in the past year, alcohol, like really
How
badly.
the fuck did you mean it? That's
And
how I
it
feel.
got so
Like,
bad
how
this
else
year,
would that be meant?
and I tried to quit
When you
so
say you're
many
fighting
times.
demons, it
I
makes you
tried to
sound
get
like you're a
help.
fucking psychopath.
You know, I put, like,
In my
this
opinion,
text,
but
like, this is a great example
whatever.
of the kind of
Oops,
support
sorry.
these guys offer as friends. Talking about starting a drinking problem and stopping it, and just trying to get better. And then everybody only has time to just like it, like just thumbs up, not a single word of encouragement or anything. And just goes back to talking about video shit. And it's like, okay, cool, great support. And then we got Jesser over
shouldn't
here
even be
immediately
text.
texting me after
It
once he
shouldn't even
sees
be
that
text.
for me to be in his sponsored video. Like, I hadn't talked about these issues I've been having. And then he doesn't even acknowledge it. He just asked me to be in his sponsored video. And then he says thank you, then I say one more thing to try to get some acknowledgement, and then he just says proud of me. If I hadn't said that one text before
I'll
or
be
after
right
thank
back.
you,
I'm gonna let this play
it would have
because I don't think I have anything to say.
And I
on
didn't
this
hear
stuff.
anything
Be
in
right back.
person. Like they did not. No one cared about Tyler. Like it was only Mopey. If Mopey could show up for videos, and it's like, it's sick. It's not real friends. It's like, what the, like I'm a person that was like. I'm out of there. I'm not being a part of it.
Tyler, once again, I showed earlier, I did try to reach out to you about these things. I didn't live with you, but I definitely did try, and you can't say that I didn't. You showed the text you sent to the group. I mean, this had happened multiple times, and there were many conversations about it. There were group conversations, there were one-on-one conversations, and then you show a text message of me. And yes, Tyler, I did message you after that, asking you to be in the sponsored video. It was a big sponsor video for me. I already told them that you and everyone else was gonna be in the video, so I thought I would just ask, and I literally told you in the text message, it's okay if you don't want to. Like, I didn't try to pressure you. You easily could have said no. I wouldn't have felt any type of way. Also, in that clip, you said there's no encouragement, no words of advice, but if you literally scroll up to our last text message, I'm asking about you quitting the vape, but you don't mention that in your video. And also at the end of the text message, I reach out about helping you with the money stuff because you had problems with your taxes and all of that, and I've had good experience with it. I've gone through those things. I asked, do you need help? Because I could help you with that. Offering my help.
Since getting sober, I realized like I'm not being around these people because they contributed to me using. Like they do that stuff themselves, and they treat me terrible. So like it's not a good environment for me. I'm not being around that environment. I want to be healthy. I want to stay sober. Like, so I'm staying away from them. I'd hope to never see them again.
Tyler, you talk about how we do those things, and the crazy thing is I never did any of that stuff until I moved into the same house with you and I was around it, but I will never blame you for my actions. And you act like I'm trying to contribute to that when I'm trying to help you and my other friends. For example, when I did the Sober October Challenge, I'm trying to better myself and the people around me.
While I was not entirely open with how bad things were for me, they'll say like they didn't know and I just kept to myself. It's like if nobody, I said I was taking breaks and I wouldn't upload and I wouldn't be around for weeks and like months on
Jake
end.
Paul side
And
of the
no
video?
one checked on me for like months and months. And like my living situation, my hallway was so bad. Just everybody walks by it and thinks nothing of it, like what's going on in my room and like what I'm doing to myself in my room. And it's like it got so bad with my hallway that it could be pitch black dark, and I memorized where to step to not step on shit and get to my room. Like, and I don't want to blame my living situation.
My bad for
and
thinking
how I
bad
was
about
treating
you before I
myself
even heard your
on
part. Y'all
them,
haven't heard my part.
But I'm not having
Y'all
to
really
go out
haven't
there
heard my
that they
part.
were supportive of me or trying
That's
to help
the crazy
me.
part.
Like it was just me.
This is the
Oh,
first time for me
gosh.
I've experienced a friend go through addiction like this, and Tyler, I wish I could have helped more. I tried to help in my own ways that I thought would help. I'm not a trained professional. You're my first friend to go through this. I didn't know really how to react.
Drama
is
is gonna become a meme
I'm
for sure.
sorry, Tyler.
And
This is a
Jesse
lot.
wants to go online and say I'm fighting serious demons. Like, no, they're the only demons I'm fighting, those guys, because they're trying to paint me out to be mentally unstable. Because I went to like rehab because I was using
I do remember
those
this,
substances
too, from
that are
Walker's
legal
stream.
in my state. Like, I can smoke and I can drink and I could use nicotine products, and they're trying to paint me out as crazy for that stuff. Like, I don't like it. It's a joke to mental illness, and that they like care, and it's just such a joke, and it makes me sick, honestly.
This clip right here is very vital to everything going on, so I'm gonna break down this clip. Tyler, we are not the demons you are facing. You cannot deny that. You've been going through a really tough time in your life, and I've just tried to be there for you.
This is frustrating because you can't tell somebody what they feel they're fighting against. Like, if he feels like he's constantly fighting and constantly feels like he has to use drugs in order to feel free from the house, that's his opinion. You can't tell somebody how they feel. What?
Once again, you're my first friend to go through an addiction. I tried to help in my ways. I genuinely tried to be there for you, and I'm not a trained professional to handle with the situation, but I did try. Tyler, I've never said you were mentally unstable. I said you were fighting demons. I did not try to manipulate you or other people into thinking that. I simply
But literally, okay, I know all you guys read the tweet, and what did that tweet come off to you? Because I feel like most people felt the same way and felt that when he said the shit about the demons part, that it was him being mentally unstable. 1,000%. So I don't know. I don't think that was him being confused or taking that out of context. It was just what it was. I feel like you can't really paint that any other way.
said it because you were going through an addiction. I didn't want to expose private information out there. It was never my intent to call you mentally unstable. I didn't say you were fighting demons because you went to rehab. I said it because you were battling substance abuse. And yes, Tyler, you said it yourself in this clip, because I was using those substances. That's what I've been saying. And Tyler, you saying that is legal to do those things is basically saying that it's okay. No, Tyler, you cannot justify drinking, smoking, and vaping because it's legal. Tyler, I want to help you. I don't...
Tyler was saying that they painted him as crazy for using these legal substances in his state. I don't think he was saying that it was like that he has every right to abuse them. Like, he knows that he's like Mopey 100% knew that he was abusing them, and that's why he went to rehab. You don't go to rehab if you think everything that you're doing is fine. I don't know. This part is like,
I don't want you to deny what you're going through. You say we're the only demons you're fighting. You're lacking awareness to the problem. Tyler, it really hurts me to see this part where you say what I've done is a joke to mental illness, when I've simply just tried to help you get through this. And again, I'm not a trained professional. And Tyler, like, I genuinely love you. I have no hidden agenda against you. I've always wanted the best for you. I know in the video you stated you never want to see me again or talk to me. I don't have this same hatred back for you, Tyler. I want the best for you. I've always loved you. I would love to have a private conversation one-on-one to talk through everything.
Should have been doing a
so
private
much of this is
conversation
such
after
new
his
information
video.
to me. Let me know if you want to talk about everything. I'm here for you. I have no ill intentions, even after all of this stuff that has come my way. I never wanted to make this video. I didn't want anything to be public. I never wanted this to be an online back and forth. This is a lose-lose situation for both of us, Tyler.
But
I had to respond. I had to make this because I had to defend myself.
Speaker.
I'll still always be here for you, Tyler. I love you. And to the fans, I appreciate all the support over the years. I hope you guys can understand my point of view now. I know a lot of the audience who watches this is very young. If you want to learn more information on addiction, I'm going to put some links down below in the description. This has been a really low point for me. I'm not sure when I'm going to upload next, but I will see you guys soon. Peace.
This video makes me so I feel like it was not necessary at all. Or at least not the way that he spoke about it. I feel the way he went about it was not necessary at all. I don't know, y'all. Like, I feel if you wanted to address your friend, you should have done it in a better way when you know that he's being super emotional. Yeah? And as far as addressing your audience, you should have apologized to your audience for XYZ ABC topic, you know? I don't know. Oh, it's gonna be one interesting dog fight. Why does Mopey have to apologize for what his dad did? I don't know. I don't know. I told you it was pointless. Jeez. I'm tired of this because we know who is in the wrong. Taking the internet is totally unnecessary in the first place, yeah. I think I wish, because Jester says he handles like managing multiple YouTube channels and groups and stuff like that. I wish that they managed their own group better, because the initial blow from ZACK coming online first shouldn't have been a thing. And I feel like that spiked a lot of the drama. Even though you guys don't see it, I feel like it did. So ZACK came online, talked about me for an hour and a half, and then talked about Los for like a good 30 minutes. Oh. Why did you talk about Los in a public forum? That's so weird. Like, why did you talk about Los in a public forum? Especially when you know the truth about your situation with Los. You know that you've ignored his apologies. You know that you've ignored him in the house before me. You know that you talk shit about him before I was there, and I was led to believe he's some like super lazy piece of shit. And so I ended up enveloping this hate towards somebody I didn't even know, you know? So I just think it's so strange, and I don't know what goes through somebody's mind when they're like, let me try and flip this and recover a relationship with somebody by throwing someone else under the bus, you know? I don't know. But him going after Los first, and they tried to paint it like Los went online first, I feel like they just don't remember the fact that Chris and ZACK both had streams that night. ZACK went online, talked about me, which is fine. He can get away with that. I'm nobody. But talking about Los for 30 minutes? You expected Los not to say anything? And then on top of it, Chris got online later that night and continued and immediately deleted his past broadcast, so you'll never find that anywhere. So so not only did ZACK get online, but Chris also got online, talked shit about me, and then I think he may have talked shit about Los as well. I'm not 100% positive because I don't remember the broadcast, but I think he lasted like a whole 30 minutes before it got deleted. It's on YouTube? Is it? The whole stream is on YouTube. He striked videos about it. Lol. I haven't seen it on YouTube. I haven't seen it on YouTube at all. If you guys find it, yo, let me fucking know. But anyway, so Chris took down his video immediately. And then Los gets online, and then Los talks about it for the next like month or whatever. Or maybe not even that long, maybe it's like a week. But then you try and paint it as if Los was the one who started all this? Are you smoking dick? You can link if you want to, go for it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh my god, this is it.